Shall we begin?
Why not? Welcome to Frankie Sense and More. It's like she's got a whole lot of goodness for you with a little bit of sass.
Frankie, did you just say...
She sure did. Not to mention, along with...
Whoops.
Join us now as Frankie Picasso and her new co-host mix it up with authors, musicians, and interviews with world-changing people.
Let's begin now.
Okay, let's begin now, because it only makes sense.
Hello there, and welcome to Frankie Sense and More. It is my pleasure to have all of you join me today, and I hope that you're going to stick around because we have a wonderful show. As always, Frankie Sense is aligned with the United Nations Global Goals, and today it's Global Goal number 5, gender equality. I was reading about an amazing project today started by Iranian journalist and activist Masih Alenejad, and she's the founder of My Stealthy Freedom, and she talks about the danger Iranian women face because of the hijab restrictions. Now, she lives in New York. She had to leave Iran, and the images come in a response. So what she has done is she has started a campaign where men send pictures of themselves wearing the hijab next to their wives or their females in their family who have their hair down, and the reason for the campaign is because the hijab is the most visible symbol of oppression. Now, since 2014, the morality police in Iran and in Tehran, the government has now hired 7,000 more people to ensure that no woman has her hair showing. If a little bit of hair shows, she is considered to be a whore and she can go to jail. So if you want to do something about this and about what you want for all women, go to globalgoals.com, or actually globalgoals.org, watch the video, then take a photo of yourself holding a sign saying what you want for women, and then fill that in. So it's just a wonderful campaign. I just love this. All these guys are talking about how hard it is to wear it, how it really feels oppressive to wear that hijab, and so how it has nothing to do with religion and everything to do with just how these Iranian officials feel that women need to cover up. As a matter of fact, she spoke. Masih, she was contacted the Ayatollah, and she had a conversation with him, and he was telling her how she was a real whore and how it made him sick to speak to her, and that she should make sure that she tells people that she's not Iranian anymore because she's embarrassing his country. So there you have it. Think what you will. Anyway, my guest today is Damon DaRil Nailer and Frederic Bye. And let me introduce you to Damon first. Damon is a teacher, motivator, speaker, songwriter, singer, author, talk show host, and a business owner. He has a passion for speaking and connecting with people, and he has conducted over 250 speaking engagements. He's written 2 books, The Great Taste of Success and A Greater Taste of Success, and both of them are spiritual books. He's produced 6 music projects, and he hosts the show Motivating the Multitudes. Damon, welcome.
Hi, Frankie. How's it going?
It's going. It's going well. So nice to have you here. Really. Nice. Now, you are a real going concern. You've got a lot of stuff that you're into. But I want to touch base on, your life. You're married. You have 4 children. How old are your kids?
The oldest is 17, then we have 13, 12, and 9, and they're all males.
All boys. Wow.
Yes, and all boys.
You live in Monroe, Louisiana, is that correct?
Yes, that's where I am.
And how big a town is Monroe?
The population is about 65,000, so it's not too
not big and
not too small. Yeah, right in the middle.
And so what are your boys into? How do you keep them out of trouble?
Well, my oldest, he's heavily into the ROTC at his school. And then my second child, he's into music. He loves playing in the band, and that's his thing. And he also ran track. And then my third, he's kind of up in the air. He goes from thing to thing. We hadn't found his true passion yet, but we're working on him. And then my last, he's like the athlete. He wants to play football or play basketball or something like that. So we're about to get him involved in sports and athletics. And that's basically the breakdown of them and their gifts and their passions.
Nice. And your wife?
My wife, she's a secretary at one of these schools here in Monroe. Yes.
Okay. Well, you used to be a teacher at a school, not a high school, but was it a high school? No.
Yes.
Oh,
I was an
high school.
elementary educator.
Uh-huh.
No, elementary.
Elementary educator?
So
Yes.
I taught for 7 years. Yes.
Okay. And you decided to leave teaching to become a motivational speaker. Is that correct? Or you have a full-time job, don't you?
Yes,
You have a
yes,
business
I
that you also run too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have a janitorial business that I do as well.
Okay. And you're also a minister. So when did this deep love for God, come to you? Have you always had it, or is this something that you came to midlife, later in life?
As far as which one, I'm sorry.
About God, about your love for God, the ministry. Your books are very spiritual books.
Yes. Well, that started about 20 years ago. To be exact, it was 21 years ago. We're almost there at that point. But yes, I was a college student, and I was pretty much introduced to God. And what happened, I grew up in a home. It wasn't really religious, I would say. We kind of went to church here and there, but I really never got into it. And then once in college, I really got into it. Someone who was in the Lord and in a local church really began to approach me and wanted to teach me Bible studies. And at first I ran. I was into all kinds of stuff. And eventually I decided, hey, I wanted to have that Bible study. And basically the rest is history. Ended up attending the church and just being filled with the Spirit of God, and it just changed my life. And everything just went into a totally different direction after that experience.
And is that your wife or somebody before your wife?
No, well, it was a guy on campus.
Oh, it was a guy on campus.
Yes, ma'am,
okay.
yes.
What changes? What changed? By the way, I'm Frederic Bye, everybody. Hi.
Hi, Fred.
Hey, what changes? What positive changes did it do to your life?
Well, I was basically heading in a really bad path. I really begun to drink very heavily. Basically going in the direction of possibly becoming an alcoholic, because I observed that a lot, and that was what was surrounding me in the environment in which I grew up in, and I was going in that same direction. And once, like I said, I gave my life to the Lord, I was able to stop with the alcohol and, just into some other behaviors, experimenting with drugs as well. And I was able to stop all of that once God really came into my heart and changed me.
What was your major in college?
Elementary education.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
All
right.
Education.
Yeah. And Fred, I know that you met your wife in church.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
But it's not like I went there, but it's not like I go regularly. Like I consider myself spiritual, but I don't necessarily might call myself a Christian or a Buddhist or whatever.
Right.
So I like to go there because that over there it's very the atmosphere is very positive. It's clean. It's not your regular church. It's kind of there's young people there. Like I remember going there was like people in their 20s. Like, oh, that's cool. And there's music, and the pastor is kind of, he's young,
so it's cool. It's hip.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I think that's what's drawing people, to church these days is the music and is, that atmosphere that's, it's a little bit kind of cool to go. So when you were, when you decided to become a speaker, I believe, Damon, that you went to Toastmasters. Is that correct?
Yes, I did. I did. When I initially started, what happened, I was just getting a lot of requests. This was while I was a teacher. Schools would ask me to come to do like the DARE programs, the drug abuse resistance education programs, and different graduation exercises or commencement exercises I would get calls for various religious institutions. And once I saw that it was something that I could pursue and that I loved doing, I ended up joining the local Toastmasters.
And how did that change for you? Change your speaking and the way that you engage with people? I mean, I think it's an amazing organization.
Yes.
And when I worked for the government and I was asked to go out and speak, I thought that is one thing I have to do is I have to go to Toastmasters because I want to make sure that when I speak, I don't, I'm not really boring when I do it.
Yes.
So did you find that it really upped your game?
Yes, it really did. I was able to learn a lot of different tips and, just get a lot more experience with speaking and just learning the different types of styles. And like I said, just little tricks and techniques and strategies to use while I speak. So it was a very rewarding experience. I did it for about a year. I was a competent Toastmaster, but then once I think it was like within that year, I started my janitorial and I just lost the time to really devote to it. But yes, while I was there, it was a very great experience and I learned a lot. I really did.
You do a whole lot of stuff, Damon. You do a whole lot of stuff.
I do.
Out of everything that you do, what do you enjoy the most?
Music, I think, is my heart. When you look at everything that I'm doing, I think music is the most interesting to me, the most exciting. And I guess it's just, everything that I do is communication, but it's when you accompany the communication with the drum tracks and the music, it's just something about it that really piques my interest and catches my interest. So I would say that the music is what I'm really passionate about. I really love the most out of all of them. And don't get me wrong, I love everything.
I know you.
Well, actually, I play the keyboard and composing most of my music. Okay. But I used to play the saxophone years ago.
Yeah, me too.
What? Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I play tenor. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was alto. We're still family though.
Yeah, no kidding. Awesome. That's really cool. And what about you, Freddie? Do you play?
I don't play music. I used to play the flute. Is that a right word in English?
Yeah.
The flute, and I never got hooked on. I love music, but I'm not a musician.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, that's okay. So we're gonna listen to Damon's songs a little bit later in the show. You're gonna have to stick around if you want to hear. We're gonna go to a commercial break in just a few, I guess, seconds. How many seconds, Ben? Where are we? 30 seconds. Okay. Well, we're going to go to a commercial break in 30 seconds. And when we come back, you're going to hear from Frederic Bye. And then it's going to be a free-for-all. So you're not going to miss any of that. So you can go take a bio break if you have to, but we want to see you back here in a minute. Don't go anywhere. We got to pay some bills, but then we're going to come back. Don't worry. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Don't go. Yeah, I don't want you guys to go anywhere either.
No.
No.
All right. Take us away, Ben.
No, we're just getting warmed up. Frankie Sense and More will be right back after we pay the bills.
In today's business world, a helping hand or idea that doesn't come with an invoice is a treasured find. And if that happens to you, then you need to pay it forward to keep other entrepreneurs from making mistakes or getting a raw deal. It's called Paying It Forward with Josephine Girassi, Wednesday mornings at 10, 9 a.m. Central. Josephine is going to have the guests describe their accomplishments, the lessons they've learned, both good and bad, and then sharing those pieces of knowledge as we create a movement of paying it forward. For more information about Josephine, her business, and background, you can go to mymomknowsbest.com. Josephine Girassi has always been a problem solver. She saw this need and has turned it into a movement. It's Paying It Forward with tips, tools, and advice and hard lessons learned. These pieces of knowledge can make a huge difference for you, your business, and others. So join us for Paying It Forward with Josephine Girassi, Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
This is the TogiNet Radio Network, broadcasting quality programming to the world.
It's words you never heard.
Got a lead foot? According to state troopers, here's what not to do when you get pulled over. Don't be a lachrymous and start crying right away. It doesn't help. But if you're under 20, crying won't be held against you. Don't ask for a break, and don't yell or start any argy-bargy. And one trooper said, if they're going to flirt with me to get out of a ticket, it would probably insult my intelligence. But unfortunately, I don't get hit on all that often. So flirting or being a gill flirt won't work. Did you know that 15% of all drivers get 76% of all traffic tickets? And the odds of winning if you challenge a traffic ticket in court are 1 in 3. So what should you do when you get pulled over for speeding? Be courteous to the officer, and most of all, be honest.
It's words you never heard.
I'm Carolyn Davidson, and you can have fun challenging your words you never heard vocabulary with my free app, Too Funny for Words.
you stayed. Thanks. And we're really happy that you did. You're listening to Frankie Sensimore. I'm your host, Frankie Picasso. My guests today are Damon Nailer and Frederic Bye. And Frederic holds a first-degree brown belt in Kempo-style karate. And at one time, he thought that he would become a WWE wrestling star. He even went as far as attending the WWE's developmental system at the time in Ohio Valley Wrestling in 2005. Sidelined by an injury, Fred returned to Montreal to become a fitness instructor and eventually a financial expert. He has a passion for giving, and his purpose is to help the creative potential in others shine. He's a brilliant podcaster. His show is called Creative Magic Unchained, where he interviews the creative types that will inspire his listeners to come out of their shell and make some magic. Fred, welcome.
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. You were an interesting guy. You were raised by a single mom, right? Your dad was in Canada getting his PhD, and then he went back to, is it Gabon?
Yeah, in Africa.
In Africa.
Absolutely. I don't remember it, though. I was too young.
You never met him?
No, no, actually, I didn't. No.
You never wanted to go to Africa?
Yeah, I did go to Africa.
Oh, you did go to Africa.
He died before.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Everything's cool.
Yeah. Well, what was it like there?
It's another world, when you want to disconnect from the busy business side of Canada and North America, I think. Yeah. It's you disconnect over there. I loved it. Really? And it's so different, people there are, they're warm and they're, it's just welcoming. You know what I mean? They're welcoming, and it's just the culture. It's in the culture. You know what I mean? And,
now, is it on the east side of Africa?
No, the west side. It's right on the west side on the equator.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, yeah. No, it's really, really nice place. It's really, really.
So, how do you think your life would have changed if you had grown up there?
I think it would have changed tremendously. I think it would have changed just the values and the way people think. I think over there it's a lot more traditional, without being too traditional. It is very much traditional. I don't think I would have had the entrepreneurial spirit as much, or I would have been able to fulfill that entrepreneurial spirit as much, because over there, family is everything, and you do what your parents say, and for the most part, and I think from the entrepreneurial side of things and creative side of things, I think you're a little bit more limited, although it is changing. I spoke to Alex Okoroji, then and she told me things like, holy cow, I never heard that from an African. Are you kidding me? Like it's just, so things are changing. And, but yeah, I think my life would have been whole.
What do you think your career would have been? Like, just judging by the family.
I think they want their kids to be engineers and lawyers and stuff like that. So I would have been on antidepressants.
I love that. So you were also married with a child on the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Can you imagine having 4 boys?
I'd like to. I wouldn't mind. Hey, I'm gonna. Oh yeah, jeez. We're going to play ball. We're going to go all over the place. Oh, yeah. That would be cool, actually. Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Because guys, you can be rough with them. Like, you can.
Yeah, that's
women,
right.
Girls, you got to be a little, you got to be careful.
You'd be surprised when you get a little girl, how that big, tough guy is like, yeah, okay, look what I got.
You got to protect her.
Yeah.
Anyway.
How did you get through the disappointment of not becoming a wrestler? How did you do that?
That's a good question. It's very funny because my life was to become a wrestler. I was a wrestling guy. Like, everything was wrestling. I was in wrestling. I had been wrestling since 14 years old. And I got my back injury when I was 21. I went to the United States in Louisville, Kentucky, and I did pretty good. Actually, I was almost got to the WWE, just a little, one level lower, let's put it that way. Yeah. And I got my injury, but I was almost happy when I got my injury because I didn't know anything else about life. If you would have spoken to me back then, all I knew was wrestling.
Oh, okay.
It was like, and God knows you have no life when you just have one.
No, you're a real tunnel vision. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. And I was happy. Actually, I was relieved. The injury was bad. It really hurt.
Yeah.
But I was relieved, like mentally. I was like, oh, because now I had to stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as I was going to be able to go physically, even though mentally I was not, quote unquote, healthy, you know, it was not an excuse. You know, I was in that mindset. It doesn't matter how mentally you are. If physically you can go, you go, period.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, so I was relieved, actually. I came back here and I did a lot of physiotherapy and just, yeah. So I don't know. How I got over it. Well, I don't know. It was easy.
You read books, didn't you get into kind of spiritual books?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because absolutely I read books.
Let me tell you about your life. Okay.
Sorry, what'd you say?
No, I just said, let me tell you about your life.
Oh, yeah, and that was, no, I got heavily into, like, personal growth and spiritual books and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So where do you think that storytelling and creativity met wrestling? Was it a building block for you?
Sorry, was it what?
A building block?
A building block? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Wrestling is a show. It's 100% a show. It's, you know, it's predetermined. Everybody knows that, I hope. And but you know, it's very physical too. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had that back injury. Right. You know what I mean? So,
what was your character? Did you have a character? You must have. You already knew.
My name was the MVP, Fred Williams.
Oh, wow.
That was the name, and I was at some point I did a little bit of Michael Jackson stuff. I kind of mixed, so, you know, huge Michael Jackson fan and stuff. So, but yeah, that was kind of my gimmick.
Wow.
I like flamboyant. I like you know, like if you watch Michael Jackson, he has like flamboyant outfits, right? He's not too simple, like I don't know, Eminem or something, and I like that.
Okay. Okay. Well, Louisville is just one thing that we have in common.
Yeah.
Another thing that we have in common is that you sponsored a child with World Vision when you were a teenager, and I have 3 kids with World Vision, and I think that's wonderful that you did that. Do you still have your child?
No. You know what? I stopped.
I
got to do it again. I got it. I'm ashamed.
Did I inspire you?
I feel bad saying that.
Okay.
I really do. No, I stopped later on. You know, my mother was like, "Oh, you know, no, because you know you have to have the money." And I was like, "Okay." Well.
But I'm glad that you think about philanthropy. And the other one is that you gave money to Operation Smile and for cleft palate surgery. And as an artist, I paint for cleft palate surgery through Mercy Ships Canada. So I like that we have that in common.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, it feels good to give. You know, there's nothing else. I don't know. There's this. I guess it's a spiritual thing. I guess, but it's to give. I don't know. You feel good about yourself.
Absolutely, for sure you do. And cleft palate surgery is so great because it's like a 45-minute fix, and this guy's life or this child's life is totally changed. They go forward. Their parents are relieved. They'll marry. They'll have friends. They'll be able to eat. I mean, it's just crazy how many positive things can happen for them once they have the surgery. And it's like $250 or something. It's like pretty inexpensive. Mm-hmm. So that's really nice. You're also writing a book. Is your book finished yet? It was called Victoria. Is that still on the go?
Yeah, my name is Victoria. I changed the title, but it is. It is being edited. I have to edit it, and So I wrote the entire thing, but it has to be edited.
Glad you wrote it.
Sorry?
I wrote the entire thing like somebody else.
Yeah. No. But it's just to say that I finished it. Yeah.
What's it about?
So it's all about love, and it's basically about love and finding one's life's purpose, and basically the main character is being charmed by the female coworker. And she doesn't have the best intentions. And at the same time, he's kind of tired of being in his job. So he's trying to find his life's purpose.
Okay. Like that. Would you say that you have a thick skin or a thin skin?
I think I'm in the middle right now. I think I went from a thin skin. I'm getting to a thick skin now. What
changed for you?
Experience, just fail. When you fail, when you get manipulated, when you get or I should say, when you trust people, you know, and they abuse that trust, or and you know they well, you know, pain does that.
Yes.
You know, so with time, you just kind of get, okay, all right. Now, after you lick your wounds, okay, I learned that lesson. Next, let's move forward.
Damon, you must have, you know, experienced failure in your life, and you know, somebody trusting the wrong people.
Of course.
And you know, experiencing that heartache. Are you thick-skinned or thin-skinned? What would you say?
I would say thick skin.
Thick skin.
You know, yes,
okay.
Yes, thick skin.
I find it really hard to when people don't like me.
Yeah. Wow.
I really do. I take it like a personal offense. Like, how could you not?
I used to care. Yeah, I used to care, but right now I have to be honest. It's like, I'm gonna be me. I really don't give a damn.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Like, as long as I act in my integrity, I don't give a care. I don't give a crap what you think, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the mindset that you have to have. Like you said, I would say thick skin, but not just cold hearted, or not just not, you know. But yeah, it's like you said, you have to just know who you are and what you're doing, and just do it. Because, like you say, Frank, I know sometimes with people, it is upsetting when people don't like, especially you have a very outgoing and cheery spirit. So it's like, how could you not like a person like that? But you'd be surprised. People are just jealous and upset because they're depressed and discouraged. And when they look at you, it's like that's what they desire and envy, but they can't have it. And that's why oftentimes people, you know, will dislike you.
So sometimes I learned sometimes people just don't like you because you're happy.
Yes,
yeah, that's what he just said. Yeah,
just
that's
because you look happy, they don't like you, and you know.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
what makes you happy? What makes you happy? We're gonna go to a commercial in about a minute, but tell me, both of you, what makes you happy?
For me, it's writing, podcasting, just working, my family. Just giving the way I do now.
Damon?
Yes, I would agree. Serving, giving out, and helping others, it really just provides satisfaction and happiness to me.
Nice. Okay, well, we're going to go to a commercial break in a little less than probably 15 seconds. And for those of you who are at home and listening, think about what makes you happy. What's your happy place? Mine is sitting in a field full of dogs. I mean, I just love animals, and to be surrounded by them, that's my happy place. But we're going to come back to Frankie Sense and More. Don't go anywhere. We are coming back, and we have more to talk about. Don't forget, we're going to listen to Damon's music too.
Frankie Sense and More will be right back after we pay the bills.
It's words you never heard.
Here's some fun facts about noses and ears I'll bet you didn't know. Did you know your ears secrete more earwax when you're afraid than when you aren't? And generally, people with asthma have better hearing than those who don't. Now, here's a word for you. When someone gets their ears pierced, they're actually piercing their pinna. The pinna is the fleshy part of the earlobe. Did you know it's possible to sneeze so hard you can break a rib? That happened to my husband's secretary once. And according to research, you'll blow your nose 250 times this year. Scientists have also determined that the smell in your right nostril is more pleasant, while the smell in your left nostril is more accurate. By the way, twice as many men as women can wiggle their ears.
It's words you never heard.
I'm Carolyn Davidson, and you can have fun challenging your words you never heard vocabulary with my free app, Too Funny for Words.
It's the Fitness Minute with fitness expert Annette Hammond.
What is healthy living? A good checkup at the doctor's office? Choosing to eat a big salad full of vegetables instead of a greasy hamburger? Attending a yoga class instead of sitting at a theater movie with fat-laden buttery popcorn and candy? All of these are good steps to healthy living. Living a healthy lifestyle is all about the choices we make every day, all day. It's choosing good, nutritious, low-calorie food instead of processed food. It's selecting a brisk walk for 30 minutes instead of playing on the computer for that time. It's being active with your children instead of sitting on the sofa watching TV. The small decisions we make every day is what builds a healthy life. Choose long life with energy, mobility, a positive outlook, and well-being by choosing to live a healthy life. I'm Annette Hammond.
All right, and we're back, and we're sitting here. I'm sitting here with Freddie Bye and Damon DaRil DaRil. I love that, DaRil Nailer. It's hard to say, but it's pretty cool because you're real. Okay.
Oh, that's what I just got it.
You just got it.
No, yeah. Oh, that's good. Very good.
God. My daughter's like, sit up. Oh my God, sit up. Funny.
That is very good. The real.
Yeah. See? That's how it goes. Let's talk about being playful. Like Fred, I know that you like The Simpsons and you like to play Mario Brothers. What about Pokemon Go? Is that affecting either of you right now?
No, I checked it out. I have to say, I downloaded the app. I just didn't play it. I can't do that.
I hadn't gotten into it. My kids, they're not even just heavily engulfed in it. And so, like I said, I hadn't even looked it up. My wife was trying to explain it to me, kind of give me the gist of it, but I haven't, tried it.
I haven't tried it, but it's really hilarious. I'm walking. I think there's 4 Pokemon Go stations around me because people are just like, their heads are looking around, they're going everywhere, and not even. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, some 40-year-old man quit his job so he could play the game. Like, how nuts is that? Right?
Yeah, that's
like, talk about a waste of time.
Yeah, there you go. That's why I don't play it. Jeez. Right?
Yeah.
I wonder sometimes how much time people have on their hands. Come on.
No.
Play Pokemon Go.
So, I mean, if somebody says to you, well, I'd really like to do that, but, I don't have time. What's your answer?
I would really like to do that, to play what? Play Pokemon Go?
No. Like if you're, people are looking up at you as a motivational leader, and they say, oh, I really want to be like you, or I really want a radio show too, but I don't have time.
Well, that's BS.
Yeah.
Like you have to have time to do whatever you're going to do. So, like you said, that's BS right there.
So, it's kind of like what TV show can you give up?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Like, how much time are you guys doing that? Because really, that's for me. That's where people's time seems to get blown away, and then they don't realize that even I read somewhere that if you spent 15 minutes a day educating yourself on a subject, that in 3 years you'd be a world expert.
Yeah. Wow. 15 minutes a day? Really?
Yeah. Wow. Crazy.
Yes, that's awesome.
Jeez.
So what would you like to be a world expert in? Both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, I guess I'm kind of an expert already as far as biblical studies and especially the book of Revelation. But I guess more with a little more with health and nutrition, being into that more, becoming an expert in that would be great.
Cool.
I've been heavily studying investing recently, paper assets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to bore you with investment stuff, don't worry. But
I do want to know about it. Maybe another show. Another show, we'll talk about it.
I'd love to, yeah. But no. I mean, for me, like I learned, I was in the industry for a while, and I realized, like our money and our businesses, it's very, very important. I mean, it's just something you have to get the business side of things. I don't care how great of a writer I am or how great of a podcaster I am. It doesn't matter. If you don't have control over your money, you don't understand it. Yes. I don't think you have real power, where you can.
Do you think there's a real possibility that paper money will go away?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, should people just be buying gold and silver?
Well,
and keeping that, because I'd always, for years it's been real money.
Yeah, but is paper money really going to disappear? Like, come on. Like,
I don't know, but look at our economy. The Canadian dollar versus like where Damon lives. He can buy 3 times as much as what we can buy.
Yes. Yeah. Well, when you look at it, they're really placing a lot of emphasis on the implantation of the chips. I don't know if you guys have been noticing that. But I was just watching something yesterday. I think it was a short clip, and I had seen one a few months ago. But they're really trying to push towards that cashless society where, I guess it'll be money, but it'll be digital currency as opposed to, like you said, the paper money.
Yeah.
But
when you talk about Bitcoin and Google, stuff like that, I don't trust that. Anyway, that's my opinion.
Yeah, because if it becomes, think about it, if you get a paper, okay, we're moving towards a paperless society, but if you move towards a digital money, you'll never know how much money you've got.
There you go. And somebody, I just feel like somebody else can take it away from you. Like,
like boom.
Online, you just, I don't know, like scam art. But if you have gold and silver, like you said, Frankie, 2,000 years from now, it's still going to be valuable.
Right.
Because it was 2,000 years ago, it was still it was valuable. And I would definitely trust gold and silver over anything.
So great grandpa was right to hide his money in the mattress. Do you think that's where people should go?
Well, hey, you know what? There are built-ins, right? Like Greece and stuff like that. Yeah. Like where the banks go into your bank account and they take your money and they freeze your account, whatever, and they do whatever they want. Now here we have protection with insurance and stuff like that. But, who knows what can happen,
Well, once the government and the insurance companies are in collusion anyway, so who knows? Who knows if you're safe? But it's kind of interesting. What about music? Who are your musical influences? We're gonna play your song. Which of your songs do you want us to play? Because I don't know if we can play both songs. But which one is your favorite ones that you gave me?
You can just play Cruisin, especially during this time of year. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's a cool song. Okay, Ben, can you set up Cruisin for us and let me know when that's ready to go? And who was your musical influences, Damon?
Well, I think early on probably would be, as far as production, would be Dr. Dre. I really liked his production and his style. And then as far as the lyricist, you may have never heard of this group. It was a guy by the name of CL Smooth, and his DJ was called Pete Rock, and I used to really love them. And then there was another group called Gangstar. And so those were the acts that I grew up on. But I would say recently, like, I love Diddy, his production and some of his music, as well as Pharrell Williams.
I love Pharrell. Yeah. So can I ask what age group you're in? You don't have to tell me your exact age, but 30s, 40s, 50s?
40s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, what did you say, Fred?
No, I was just going to say I'm early 30s.
Early 30s. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool. Okay. Let's go, Ben. Cruisin' by Damon DaRil.
All the way down, blasting that banging sound, the bass shaking the ground. You can't hear us coming all through town, and we feeling so good, feeling so nice. Yeah, just living this good life. Feeling so good, feeling so nice. Oh yeah, just living this good life. Cruising, cruising through your hood. Cruising, up to something good. Cruising. We got the drop top all the way down, blasting that banging sound, the bass shaking the ground. You can't hear us coming all through town, and we feeling so good, feeling so nice. Just living this good life. Feeling so good, feeling so nice. Just living this good life. Cruising, cruising through your hood. Cruising, up to something good.
Okay, so Cruisin'. Now,
yes.
What scale is that in?
What scale?
It's I'm trying to remember the word for it. Like the notes are.
You mean like high, low, or
not high and low, more like.
Let's see.
I wish I could remember the name of it. Gosh.
Yeah.
It has like a feel of I keep wanting to go flats. It's not that they're flats. They're I don't know. Sorry. Okay, let's forget that then.
Okay. Yeah, I know you have sharps and flats. I know, but as far as scale,
like there's a chromatic scale, but then there's another scale that it evokes a different feeling in you.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's a normal. I don't think you probably don't even know what scale you did, but it doesn't. I
didn't use a keyboard for that. I used a music program to compose that one, so I wouldn't really.
Okay, I hear you. Okay, so what are the lyrics other than Cruisin?
Well, I was just saying, cruising through your state, up to cruising through your hood, up to something good. Cruising through your state, man, it feels great. And it's basically just we literally we didn't get to listen to the rap part, but in the rap I literally that's okay. Take you around the whole U.S. You know,
does it?
Not the entire U.S., but we go from Louisiana to Alabama to Florida to New York and all of that, and kind of go like almost in a circle, and we end in Texas or whatever. But yeah, and that song is just it has that free flow and just that mellow vibe, and it's really funky, and I think everyone can relate to it, especially in the U.S., but all over the world, really.
Sure. But
I think it would resonate with just a wide variety of people.
It does. It has a great beat for sure.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, you can just chill in and you know your top's down on your car and your arms out the window and you're just cruising.
Yeah. That's it. That's exactly.
In the summertime.
Yes. Made for the summer.
What inspired you to write that? Just
you'll have to wait to hear about that because we're going to commercial break.
Oh, okay, cool.
But you keep that thought in mind. Keep that in mind. When we come back, we're going to find out what the inspiration for that song really was. Here we go. Don't go anywhere.
Heck no. We're just getting warmed up. Frankie Sense and More will be right back after we pay the bills.
It's the Fitness Minute with fitness expert Annette Hammond.
To lose weight, we know that each day we need to burn more calories than we take in through eating, and exercise burns more calories. According to Discovery Health, a 150-pound person will burn about 60 calories while taking a 1-hour nap. 1 hour of sitting and watching television burns about the same. But if that 150-pound person takes a 1-hour brisk walk, then say goodbye to more than 250 calories. Cardio exercise like running, biking, swimming, and brisk walking are the best modes of exercise to burn the highest amount of calories and will get the endorphins flowing in your body. Those feel-good neurotransmitters boost your mood naturally. So use exercise to burn calories, lose weight, and to feel good. I'm Annette Hammond. To hear other fitness and weight loss tips, visit our website at AnnetteHammond.com.
This is the TogiNet Radio Network. Radio with a cutting edge.
Close your eyes and imagine living your life without limits. Where would you go? Who would you meet? What would you do? During an Uncover Your Hidden Genius session, you will discover what's keeping you from living your life with purpose, passion, and fulfillment of your potential. You'll get a clear vision of the steps you need to take to uncover your hidden genius so that you can live a life without limits. Sessions can be done over the phone, Skype, or in person. Find out more at www.joycebufordempowers.com or by calling 903-287-0747.
And we're back, and Frankie Sense and More. And you have been listening to the song by Damon Nailer. You have been listening to Frederic Bye talk about money. I'm your host, Frankie Picasso, and we're going to go somewhere where where it's dark and dirty. We're going to go to American politics. Now, right, you have to understand, Fred is representing French Canada, I'm representing English Canada, and poor Damon's down there in Louisiana.
Hey, you know what pisses? You know what really pisses? Well, can I say that? Well, you know what really angers me?
You up? Yeah.
Okay. No. Why do we say it's French Canada or English Canada? Because this is what I don't like about my province is it's our little place, our little thing. It's Quebec. Look, we're in Canada. I don't feel in Canada when I'm in Quebec, and I love Quebec. But anyway,
I know. Here's the thing. I used to think that Quebec was part of Canada too, until the FLQ wanted to move away. But here's the thing. My daughter was in Montreal last week, and her French isn't very good. And she's moving to the States, and she had to go there to get her visa. And she got in late at night, and she was asking, she was on Rue St. Catherine, she was asking somebody, how do I get here? And nobody would talk to her because she didn't do it.
Yeah, I hate that.
He asked a cab driver to take her somewhere. He said, I don't understand, I don't understand.
You know what?
Je ne parle pas, okay. And then, what?
No, go ahead, sorry.
And she handed him the written address. And just said, just take me here. And he wouldn't do it because she didn't speak French. That's bullshit. You're in Canada? Yeah, Louisiana too.
This is small-minded. This is small-minded. It's our little French, and we don't want to lose it. And, it's this and that. I hate that mentality. I just freaking hate it.
I hate the mentality, but I love the French, and I love that.
There you go.
I don't understand why, I don't understand why it's such a big deal, why everybody isn't just bilingual, and then it would be great. But, they had to, the Francophone went off into their own little world and hate the rest of Canada. What can you say?
But you know what's even more exciting, though? You know what's happening in the U.S.?
Yes. So I have to say I'm a huge Bernie Sanders supporter, and I was heartbroken because Bernie is the way to go. And I'm sorry, Ben. I know you're listening. So, we got Bernie, who's just wonderful and just loves all of humanity, and that's really what we need. Hillary is a big liar, but you have to vote for her because if you don't vote for her and you split up the party, then those other people get to. You're for Johnson? With Johnson, and then you end up splitting the party, and Donald Trump will get in anyway. So you can't let him in because can you imagine him with his finger on a nuclear button? Like, come on, that's really scary.
Very, very scary. Very scary.
Who's your? Well, I'm not going to ask you who you're going to vote for, obviously. But, what's your take on what's happening in the good old US of A?
I guess the only thing I would say the lesser of the two evils would be Hillary. I mean, for obvious reasons, but that's the only thing I heard someone recently saying, can we just put someone else in? We need another candidate. We need another choice, not these two. Wow. But I mean, sadly, here we are, and those are the two choices. They won those nominee spots, the nominations, and
but you know what? She didn't really win it, did she? Bernie won it. Bernie won it, and then you have the super delegates who come in and say, "Oh, we're going to give it to Hillary," and then you have somebody who came up with some absurd rule because all these college kids want to vote for Bernie. You go, "Oh, if you weren't registered last year, sorry, dear, you're not allowed to vote." That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh yes, and for me, I was kind of.
Ben, you're allowed to talk on this if you want to.
I didn't hate Donald up until the recent thing with the dead child.
Yeah,
that was like that crossed the line. Okay, well, no, come on, that's too much. That's it. Like if I'm an American, I'm voting for Hillary. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I hate to vote for her, but you have to. You just have to, because you just cannot split that vote, or it's a vote for Donald.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen to America? That's very. I don't know what's going to happen.
I know. It's pretty scary, but scary for us because we're its big neighbor. And it's going to affect us.
Yes,
And actually, I read that Google has 7 times more. People go on Google 7 times. Americans go on Google
to Canada.
Yeah, to Google how to move to Canada 7 times more than before. Yeah.
Wow.
I read that.
My daughter was going to be a police officer here, and then she ended up getting engaged to some guy down in San Diego.
and what do you think, Frankie? What's your take on it?
She won't be a police officer.
No.
No way. Not in the States, she said. No way.
Oh.
It's crazy, huh?
Yeah, it's just crazy. There's just no, it's just, and I understand it, but, respect goes both ways.
Yes.
And it's pretty unfortunate. It's a pretty unfortunate, all the events that are happening down there.
Damon, what's your take on Canada?
Well, I was just listening to you guys, and I was like, man, I need to study Canada much more. Look, I don't know, I guess, just a whole bunch about Canada, but what I've heard is it's very picturesque, it's very beautiful, very clean, and just a nice place. But like I said, I haven't just gone in depth and really studied Canada like I should, because I would definitely love to visit there one day.
You're welcome to come and visit us. When you went to Louisville, Fred, what did they think of you?
No, actually, you know what? I was one of them.
Yeah?
I think like they knew that I wasn't from there. But because when I got there, you have to understand it's wrestling. So you have people from all over the place coming. It's not just people in Louisville. So it's like you have people from New Zealand and da-da-da-da-da. So, it wasn't like, But I think from the people there, I think there's kind of a mystery because you're kind of not the immigrant going in, but, you're from a world that, Montreal. We don't really know what it's about. We don't really know it.
Yeah. Well, you had this French accent. And
The girls like that.
They don't know. The girls like that. But when I moved to Louisville, and I went to high school in Louisville, the first year desegregation, 1973, around 72.
My. Yeah.
They, first of all, they thought I was from England because I thought I had a British accent. And then they asked me if I lived in an igloo and were the bears, polar bears around me all the time. Some crap like that. And the Mounties. That's what people know about Canada.
Oh,
igloos, polar bears, and Mounties.
Wow. Did you think that, Damon? Did you think that?
No.
How do you think it is up there?
Well, I mean, I just thought the weather would be rather pleasant. I wasn't even aware of igloos. I'm thinking Alaska when you said igloos and stuff like that, but I don't know. I mean, it gets that cold up there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, it's a, we definitely have 4 seasons. And like right now we're in a heat wave. It's probably like, I think it's 40 Celsius today. What's that, Fred? You went to school.
No, I'm not. Oh, in Fahrenheit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how much in Fahrenheit it is.
It's about 90, I think, somewhere around there.
Yes.
And then in the winter, we get to like out in the prairies for sure minus 50, and like my friend lives in Alberta. It's always like really really cold, and in Winnipeg, and then in Ontario where I live, like last winter it was like around minus 20 a lot, and Quebec gets cold. I mean, you got skiing in Quebec, so you got the Laurentian Mountains, and so that's a big ski area to go to that people like to go skiing. So yeah, I mean it's warm and it's cold, but you definitely have 4 seasons and a lot of snow.
Yes, definitely. Wow, I'm enlightened now.
and
Louisiana, I think Louisiana is a bunch of mosquitoes and
swamps
and swamps and just
Damon,
humid.
Damon, I think also Canada has it doesn't have as a hard history as the U.S.
Yes.
I think the overall mood or atmosphere of Canada this is what I hear from Americans. It's more peaceful. Like we're more pacific. Like we're more passive a little bit.
Yeah,
that's their take on it. And in a way they're bright, I think. And because you guys, you have the blacks and you have to fight and you have to. We don't have that in Canada, as far as I know. I mean, especially in Quebec. I mean, how many immigrants did we have in the 70s and 60s over here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The immigrants really came in the 80s and 90s, like the people from Africa and people from
right.
So
no, but we there were it was like the Polish, and then it was the Italian, and the Jews, and it was like it's always been different pockets of groups, and the Asians and then the Indians, the East Indians, and then the Jamaicans, and then I don't know who it is today. African, I guess. Somalians were the next big group that came in. But it's extremely multicultural here. Yeah. And like you could probably go think about 90 different ethnic restaurants that you could go to, and you could eat from 90 different countries. It's like that.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that's the cool part of it.
Diversity.
And we did not have here anything like the race riots like you had in the States. Yeah. So when I went to high school and there was that desegregation, it was very unfamiliar to me.
Yeah, culture shock for you.
It was a big culture shock for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, like Ben just wrote in the thing that, because they're in Texas, my radio station's in Texas, he goes, everybody thinks that they ride horses everywhere there.
Yeah, and wear big hats.
And wear big hats. And have lots of glitter. But they do have lots of glitter. I was in Texas.
Well, you know what I like about the U.S., though, is that when you're in the U.S., if you live in New York, you care what's happening in Los Angeles. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's more, you're more unified. Here, at least in Quebec. Quebec is Quebec, and whatever happens in Toronto or British Columbia, we don't give a crap. You know what I mean? Like the media just doesn't. We're in our own little world. So I don't know.
My favorite city in Canada is Quebec City. That's my most favorite place in Canada, Quebec City.
Really? Why? Because I was born in Quebec City.
Were you?
Yeah, I love Quebec City.
Very European.
More than Montreal, actually.
Yeah, I love it. It. I love the artisans. I love the cobblestone. I love the European feel to it. I just love all of it. It's a very cool city. If you're going to go anywhere, go to Quebec City.
Go to Quebec. Okay, Quebec City.
Yeah, Quebec City, not just Quebec is a province.
Oh, you guys better tell us where you're coming from, because I think we're going to run out. Oh, we are running out. Okay, quick. Both of you tell me where you're from. How to get in touch with you.
Okay, man.
It's DaRil.org. That's the DARIL.org.
Okay.
All right.
Freddie.
For me, I'm FredericBye.com. It's my name, Frederic with a C, Bye, like bye-bye.com. And listen to my podcast,
Creative Magic Unchained. It's got a great one, yeah. Thank you. Creative Magic Unchained.
And we have a Creative Magic store, too, right now. Design with meaning.
Okay, well, goodbye, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Right. We're in our last 30 seconds of airtime. Don't go anywhere. But we will see the rest of you next week on Frankie Sense and More. And I thank you so much for joining us today. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Absolutely.
Nothing like variety.
Yeah, it's cool. I like variety. It's fun. You touch on different subjects.
Definitely.
And I love these. We're three people. We give our opinions and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yes. Very engaging.
So that's it.
Here we go.
Hit Rash Production.